I'm 12 years old and a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes just over 3 years ago, December 16, 2010. I was 9 years old. Before I was diagnosed with diabetes, my life was very simple. I ate 3 meals a day, snacks when I wanted, and didn't think about what I ate very much. I didn't have to constantly worry that any slight difference in how I felt could mean that I was high or low. That's the biggest difference, the worry. Monitoring 24/7, making sure there isn't a mistake. I played fall soccer 3 months before diagnosis. At the start I could play, I could run, but as the season and diabetes progressed, I slowed down. The coach put me in midfield, but I was slowing down, so he pulled me back to defense. I felt I couldn't play. I would walk, not run. I felt horrible. I didn't want to play, but I also didn't want to let my coach or my assistant coach, my dad, down. My dad was mad because I wasn't running. He thought it was some sort of teen rebellion or something. Of course, we learned later it was much more serious. 2 days before diagnosis, on a Tuesday, I went on a school field trip to Santa Cruz Island. I felt horrible, but I was not going to miss my first boat ride on the ocean. But on the boat to the island, all I wanted to do was lay down. My stomach felt bad, but everyone just thought it was because this was my first time on the ocean. When we got to the island, we went on a hike. It was a beautiful day, but my legs felt like noodles. I had acid in my throat, and I was disoriented. It was hard to get words out. And I didn't want to talk, which was unusual because I talk all the time. The only thing I could think about was going home and laying down. I continued to feel sick for the next few days, and eventually on Thursday morning, my mom said that we were going to see the doctor. I was so out of it that I told her I was too sick to see the doctor. I didn't even get dressed. I wore my pajamas. I got dragged down the stairs one step at a time on my butt because walking, especially on stairs, felt horrible. When we got to the car, I threw up one last time. We were early to the doctor's office. No one was there, but I was surprised to see the doctor waiting for me. My mom had called him the night before. He took me in and did a few tests, blood tests and finger pricks. And I remember when he said, "Ian, we're not sure yet, but we think you have type 1 diabetes." And that was a shock because the worst thing I thought could happen was I get a vaccine or shot. All I could think was that there's still a chance I don't have it. The only person I knew with diabetes was my friend Cole, that I had known since preschool, and I knew that he had to take a shot once a day, and that was not what I wanted to do. I told myself that there was still a possibility that this was all a mistake, even during the ambulance ride, and even when we got to the pediatric ICU in Hollywood. But then at the hospital, I asked my mom again, and she said, "No, it's not a mistake. It's been confirmed." I was overwhelmed and scared. My whole life was going to change. And in my head, I now thought I'd have to take a shot every day. I still had no idea it'd be much more than once a day. After being diagnosed, life initially was a pretty big learning curve. Mostly my parents took care of me. I had to get used to counting carbs and taking insulin shots. The calculations were annoying, knowing that when I was counting carbs, the thing I was working towards was taking a shot. I was working so hard just to give myself pain. But it wasn't just doing it once. It was doing it repeatedly, every day, checking blood sugar up to 15 times a day and taking shots up to 6 times a day. And then one day, I heard that my dad was going to see a presentation in Santa Barbara about the latest care in diabetes technology, and I wanted to go. It was on a school night. My mom didn't want me to go, but she eventually said okay. When I showed up to Santa Barbara, I watched the presentation. I don't think I understood half of it, but the basic idea of the artificial pancreas mesmerized me, because it was something that might eliminate the worry. Dr. Howard Zisser invited me to witness an artificial pancreas clinical trial at Sansum. I got to see people with diabetes eating whatever they wanted and not having to do anything. I think that the hope that the artificial pancreas brings type 1 diabetics worldwide is something truly great. I did a 5th grade science project on what works best to treat low blood sugar, and Dr. Zisser invited me to present my findings to the Sansum board of directors. So I did. They liked it a lot. They clapped at the end, and Dr. Zisser presented me with the first Sansum Junior Researcher Award. That was pretty cool. A couple of years later, I got to participate in a clinical trial myself at Sansum for a meter that uses a light to detect blood sugar. It was neat to see that there are other technologies in the works that Sansum is a part of. I was at Sansum for 2 full days for the trial. I really liked it. The people there were nice and it was relaxed. These are just a few examples of the many experiences I have had with Sansum diabetes over the past 3 years. And today I live a pretty normal diabetic life. I check my blood sugar 10 to 15 times per day, bolus for everything I eat, and monitor myself very closely. Part of taking care of myself is exercising. Cycling is one of the ways I do that. I ride endurance bike rides. My biggest accomplishment was last year when I rode 100 miles in the Cool Breeze Century that goes from Ventura to Goleta and back. Tomorrow I will be riding 60 miles in the Solvang Century with my dad, uncles, cousin, and sister. They are here with me today. I envision that my future as a diabetic will be easier due to the amount of technology that will be widely available then. I also envision Sansum diabetes playing a major role in the future of diabetes care. If someone I knew were to be diagnosed, the first thing that I would tell them would be to hang in there. It's rough at first, but it gets better. And with the advancing technology for diabetes care, it will get a lot easier in the near future. But I think that the most important part of a type 1 diabetic's life is hope. Hope that there will be less worrying, less stress, and less mistakes. Hope that Sansum diabetes brought to me and others alike worldwide. Thank you.